Do I look a mess? Probably. I guess we'll find out. Hey guys, my name is Sacco and welcome to The Well. It's been a while. It's been a while since I last saw you. Anyway, so yeah, it's been a while since I made a video, but I'm back. Yeah, it's been Holy Week, then Easter week, then I need to catch up week. I know you guys were lost without me, but here I am, back at it. On this episode, I'm going to be talking about why I go to Latin Mass, the extraordinary form. First off, I realize that this is kind of a point of contention for some people, but I assure you, I'm just going to be talking about why I personally go to the Latin Mass. So I hope that you will continue watching. So yeah, let's just dive right in, shall we? So first of all, I never, ever thought I'd call myself a trad. Like, ever in a million years. Like, if you talked to me last year around this time, I would laugh in your face. I was like very against being a trad. Is that a derogatory term? I don't know, whatever, I'm claiming it back. I'm a trad, proud trad, rock on, brothers and sisters. I was very against going to the Latin Mass. I thought everyone there thought that they were so holy, that they were all Pharisees, and that they're all those like super holy people that think that they're better than everybody. Ugh. Basically everything that everyone thinks of a trad, I literally thought. Because I was a brat. And I still am a brat, so it's fine. It's not fine. Mea culpa. But anyway, I wanted no part of it. The first Latin Mass I went to was a low Mass, and I was like, no. I want my singing. I want my responses. I don't want this. I don't know how people like it. I'll go like once a month. But no, not for me. I don't want to be a trad. So yeah, I was like, I will never go to the Latin Mass. No, absolutely not. And then I got slapped by the Holy Spirit and here I am. So be careful of what you say you'll never do, because that Holy Spirit slap is no joke. I'm still feeling it. Well, how did all of that happen, Darlene? Great question. Let me tell you a little bit about it. So, the first time I went to a high Mass, this was October of last year, so only 6 months ago. I had just broken up with my ex. So during all of 2020, I was strong in my faith, but I was so unfulfilled that I was starting to kind of slip away, honestly. Maybe that's a little bit strong. I wasn't slipping away, but if you knew who my ex was, I definitely was not like where I should have been in my faith, and things weren't lining up. And it was because I just wasn't being fulfilled. So I'm getting deeper and deeper into my faith. I start veiling, which that was a really big struggle for me at first, like a huge struggle. I was listening to a lot of podcasts and learning a lot of theology that I've never learned before. I never really had an interest for theology, but then I just like consumed myself with it. So I was getting deeper and deeper into my faith. And then the weekend or two after I broke up with my boyfriend, my brother came to visit me. We were supposed to go to New York, all three of us together, to visit my cousin. And obviously that didn't happen because I broke up with my boyfriend. So my brother came to visit. And he was like, no, we're going to the Latin Mass. Now, months before this, my confirmation sponsor, shout out, she had told me about this FSSP parish that was right down the road from me. And she was like, you need to go. And I was like, no. Didn't listen because, again, I would never be a trad. So my brother forces me to go, and to be fair, I wasn't like completely against going. Like, I wanted to go so I could say absolutely not. So I had the experience to back up why I didn't want to go. So I was intrigued to go. So we go, and I'm in the confession line, and Mass begins, and boom, hook, line, and sinker. The choir is singing so beautifully. When they come in, people are genuflecting and bowing to the cross and to the priest. It was like I was at a royal event. It was like Christ is King or something. So I like welled up because the reverence was so beautiful from the minute of the first note and the procession in. I was like, this is amazing. Then just the reverence of the entire Mass after that, I felt like I was breathing in the Holy Spirit. So I had no idea what was going on, so I just kind of like took in everything. I tried to follow along, but I really just took in everything. And oh boy, like the reverence of like the choir was so beautiful with like, you know, because isn't that like campy music. It's that like chant, that chanty music. I don't know what it's called, but whatever it is called, like whatever that is, like something out of like Lord of the Rings or like heaven. Amazing. And then just how reverent they keep the altar and like the sanctuary. It's like, something must be holy up there. And it's just, you're like, yes. Then another amazing thing that I was like in awe over is that after the first reading, the choir is singing like the psalm, you know, again, in that very like beautiful, ethereal, like chorusy, choiry way. And you get to just meditate on what you just read. So there's that time for you to really consume the readings and what the choir is singing, so the psalm, and even, you know, depending on how long the first reading is, like you can read the gospel ahead of time and really like meditate on that. There's a time for meditation and prayer, and that is just amazing to me and just I fell in love with. And so that is something that I really love about the Latin Mass, is that there are times to just be with Jesus and meditate on what we just read and what the heck is going on. Then you get to the consecration. Just mind-blowingly beautiful. And why? Because it's silent. Like you go from all of this like beautiful singing to straight up silence. It's solemn, it's silent, all you hear are the bells at the appropriate times, and it is just complete reverence. And I am just in ecstasy because it's so reverent. You're not distracted. You're literally just focusing on the consecration and being silent and in that moment. Like, get me on in, man. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Then, still going here with the reverence, then when everyone receives, everyone kneels at the altar rails and full-blown ecstasy ignited. All the reverence, man. It is just beautiful beyond words and beyond explanation. And also, I've always received kneeling and on the tongue, but when you get to receive on an altar rail, it's like you're not rushed, you're not tripping over your dress, you know, it's not hard to get up or anything like that. You get to just fully receive without any distraction. And a lot of the times, like you're waiting there before you receive, like you're waiting in line, kneeling at the altar rail. So you get to really put yourself in the moment and like invoke all of the angels and all the saints that you want to be receiving with you, and or you get to just be like, I'm here, like let me receive you fully. And it's amazing. You have time to really get in that presence, up and close, right there. You get to really be in that moment. And it is beautiful. And I fell completely in love. I usually get a small ecstasy from it because it's just so beautiful. And what a gift. What a gift. Spoiled rotten, man. So like all of that, not to mention the incense, the veiling, the altar servers doing everything so uniformly and mechanically that you don't even really notice them. The priests doing everything. All of this is such reverence. So I was sold. I was like, all right, I'll go to Novus Order like once a month. Never went back. How could I settle for anything less than what I was just a part of? Plus, the parish was so thriving. It had every age group accounted for and in abundance, like from the womb to the blue hair group. And so it's like a glimpse of Christendom, and I fell in love with that as well. But it was the reverence that really hooked me. So a few other things that really just got me were, I don't get distracted, and I don't feel distracted. Like by my own thoughts, yes, I'm distracted, but I'm not distracted by like what's going on the altar, who's going up there, who's the lector today, who's the cantor today, is it the priest I like, is it the cantor I like, none of it. You are just with Christ, because that's how they keep it. That's just how the Latin Mass is designed. No one's going up and down the altar. So it doesn't get distracting. And that's what I've realized about the Latin Mass. It caters to the personal relationship with Christ and with God. The Novus Order kind of focuses more on like the community aspect of it. It's about like the community gathered. We're all in this together, which is true, but God made us all so unique and different, and he loves how unique we are, and he wants to celebrate that with us on a personal level. And he wants that personal, like you and him relationship at the highest form of prayer, the Mass. And you really get that at the Latin Mass. So at Latin Mass, it's so wild. I really do lose focus on what other people are doing around me, because you do a lot of the prayers like to yourself, like you're saying it to God, like to yourself. You're not saying it together with everybody. So you're saying it by yourself, just with God. And I love it. It really enriches that personal relationship. I also feel so safe. Like I don't have to worry about any liturgical abuses, and I can just trust that everything is going the way it should be going. And it's so freeing. And I feel like I can just be with Christ. Just me and him, breathing in the Holy Spirit and praising God the Father for all of it. And it's a union I just cannot be without. So the reverence, the not being distracted, the no liturgical abuse, all of these things. And also, I don't feel judged at Latin Mass by anyone. I know you're probably like, well, what do you mean? They seem like the most judgmental people ever, because that's what I used to think. But no, not at all. I feel like no one is ever looking at me. Again, because everyone's too busy like having their personal relationship with Christ. They ain't looking at me. It's so freeing though. So I don't have to worry about like the staring I would get from kneeling and receiving or veiling. And then on the reverse, I don't have to worry about like, am I standing still enough? My hands aren't up on my face. I must not be holy enough. Like there's none of that. Everyone is just so humble and they're just so focused on the Mass that you just don't have to worry about any of that. It's so freeing. Again, because of that personal relationship they're having with Christ that's fostered by the Latin Mass. And honestly, after going for 6 months, I honestly do think that it's the solution to our dying church. 80% of Catholics don't believe in the true presence. This is a crisis and something is not working. But I'll save why I don't think Novus Ordo is working for another video, but I just wanted to keep this video about why I go to the Latin Mass. So if you want to go to Latin Mass, go. Find a high Mass and go. If you know me and you want to go with me to the high Mass, let me know. I'd love to take you. I recommend the high Mass to go to first. The low Mass is great too. It's beautiful. It's just like going to like daily Mass. So it's like bringing someone to a daily Mass. You're not going to get the full effect. So yeah, I recommend your first Latin Mass be a high Mass. If you know me, just message me. I would love to take you. I bring people to the Latin Mass all the time. I love it. So come on down. For the first time, just go into it like you're going into adoration. Don't really worry about the book or being lost, because you're not lost. You know exactly what's going on. It's all just in Latin because you already know the order of the Mass. So you already know what's going on. You just think you don't know what's going on because it's in Latin, but you do. So don't even focus on that. Just don't focus on the book. Just focus as if you were going to adoration and just bask in it. I also recommend going for a consecutive month. So every Sunday for an entire month, I recommend going before you make a verdict, because the first time can be very just like overwhelming and you can get caught up in not knowing what's going on. So I really highly recommend that you just go for an actual month, because you'll start to realize everything will just start to click. So give it a month. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much for coming to my channel. If you could please subscribe to my channel and share this channel with your friends. Subscriptions are what helps me. So please subscribe, hit that like button, leave me a comment. If you have any questions, please ask me. I would love to answer any questions you have about the Latin Mass or about anything. Have a question about what my favorite color is? Ask me. Thanks for staring at my face. You guys are awesome. I'll see you next time. Still really bad at this line out, but whatever. My name is Sacco, and this has been another episode of The Well. God bless you. Yes.